are a known quantity at this
Yo,
point,
yo,
and their
yo,
Arc
yo.
Battlemage GPUs are still a ways off, so we must look elsewhere if we want some news about Big Blue that piques our interest. And so we will consider these now deleted posts from Twitter hardware leaker Yuki_ans, who shared slides allegedly from Intel that detail Arrow Lake S, the successor to the 14th gen Raptor Lake refresh CPUs currently on the market. Most notably, thread counts indicate that Intel might be doing away with hyperthreading, which has been rumored for some time but never confirmed. And it's still not confirmed, these are leaks, so use your best judgment. But speculators are speculating that Intel's focus on efficiency is the reason why hyperthreading isn't always the most efficient technology, and it's true that their CPU team has had success with the hybrid E-cores that they've been using for a few generations now, which do not support hyperthreading either. It's the P-cores that might only have one thread per core now. 2 with Arrow Lake, meaning Intel will need to clearly and effectively communicate to customers why thread counts are down with 15th gen CPUs versus 14th gen, which we all know Intel is very good at. Never a misstep made by the PR department, no way. Shown in the slide. 8 core 16 equals 22 core with 15, 14 core with 6 plus 8. And whatever happened to computer things increasing by a factor of 2 anyway? And it looks like the new LGA 1851 platform will be DDR5 only with a baseline speed of DDR5 6400. There's also a block diagram for the new 800 series motherboard chipset, likely Z890, which seems pretty standard, although it does list Thunderbolt 4 support. But I'm more excited about Intel will be. Arrow Lake S will be produced on Intel's 20A node, which is 2 nanometer class in terms of transistor density, a big leap from the current Intel 7 process, which is 10 nanometer class, and it will also feature ribbon FET gate all-around transistors and the new PowerVia backside power delivery design. Allegedly. Hopefully we'll be seeing these new CPUs debut at the end of this year, and they should be easy to sell, Intel. The marketing copy is right there. Intel has a delivery for your backside. Or is your backside ready for the power of Intel? Those need some polish, but we can work on it. Speaking of a swift kick in the ass, it's time for tech briefs, which are
Are you taking me to that? Why you what? What?
Just shy of 2,000.
You know how late you are to that?
Pack up their cubicles and hit the road this week by Microsoft as part of the tolling large business acquisitions. It's only been about 3 months since Microsoft purchased Activision Blizzard for $69 billion, giggity, adding those employees to their gaming unit, but Thursday's news that 1,900 employees from that team are going to end their week jobless is still a bit of a shock. It represents about 9% of Microsoft's current 22,000 person headcount, and it was also announced that co-founder and design leader
died and left. What a douche.
As well as the current Blizzard president, Mike Ibarra. Although the vibe fans of Blizzard games is that Mike leaving might be a good thing. Our hearts go out to those who lost their jobs. We hope they can find new jobs soon. But you know who didn't get laid off? Employees who are members of the Community Workers of America Union. AMD made good on its promise to be a thorn in NVIDIA's side when it comes to the AI arms race, as they have now delivered their first shipments of Instinct MI300X AI GPUs, as verified by Sharon Zhao, chief executive at Lattice, who shared some images last weekend of both the AI accelerators currently being protected by some sort of cage like they keep velociraptors in, as well as green console readout text, which always makes you feel like a hacker. 2023 saw the AI-generated floodgates open, drowning or consuming thousands of AI villages and families, but more importantly, AI hardware sales are insanely lucrative right now, and AMD wants a slice of that pie in 2024 and beyond. It's still too early to verify if AMD's chips actually outperform NVIDIA's as they claimed, and it will likely vary based on application. But competition in the market is good, right? I mean, what could go wrong? Well, there is that. Apparently, data center power usage is scaling upward at a rapid pace, and while data centers aren't all AI inference farms, they're certainly not helping the problem. According to Bloomberg, data center power use could triple, and nationwide electricity demand is projected to rise by 1.5% per year, I assume. I'm not going to pay for a stupid Bloomberg subscription to find out, over the next 5 years. That's the fastest rate of growth since the 90s, back when life was simple and there were no problems in the world, if I recall correctly. This could lead to a resurgence in coal power plant usage, because what else are these entrepreneurs going to do? Turn their data centers off? Don't be ridiculous. How else will people continue to make their hot dog even hotter? Pretty hot dog. Hot dog could be hotter still. Volcano. Supernova. Center of the Big Bang. Can't get hotter than that. Actually, no, 2 Big Bangs. This is the best Reddit post I've ever read. You see my point. How else are we going to have hot dogs illustrated at the center of a multiverse conflagration where multiple Big Bangs are converging, creating an unimaginable level of heat and energy? So much power. And obviously, we must also have these AI farms working on an AI-generated solution to this problem right now. We should be just fine. Speaking of things that could easily be replaced with AI, the CEO of HP, Enrique Lores, did an interview with CNBC last week to demonstrate his complete detachment from the regular world of normal people. Printers often suck, but HP seems determined to make them worse, and the CEO would also like you to pay a monthly fee for the privilege of using their approved ink cartridges. Our long-term objective is to make printing a subscription, says Lores, seemingly without even the briefest moment of self-reflection. This was in response to HP getting sued for their anti-consumer efforts to prevent people from using third-party ink cartridges, as they should be able to. But personally, I can't seem to wrap my brain around these executives who get so excited about an idea that is blatantly anti-consumer with upsides only for their business, and then they try to sell us on it because apparently they think we're stupid. Get a laser printer, people, if you really need one, and I would suggest not buying HP until Enrique clears the paper jam in his ass that's being caused by stupid. Get a laser printer, people, if you really need one, and I would suggest not buying HP until Enrique clears the paper jam in his ass that's being caused by his head. Finally, you might never have heard of the game called Palworld, but it's likely that you did hear about it this week if you even glanced at the internet. Riding a viral wave, the game sold 8 million copies and counting in just 6 days, apparently by virtue of basically being a Pokemon game that's actually quite fun compared to other recent officially licensed titles in that category. From my understanding, adding guns helps quite a bit. Not bad for a game that is still in early access mode and was just made available January 19th, but Palworld is not an official Pokemon game, and with great success often comes great scrutiny, starting with miffed actual Pokemon fans pointing out many of the remarkable similarities between certain character designs, and then continuing Thursday with an official statement from the Pokemon Company that they'll be investigating to see just how friendly Palworld got with their designs. Sounds like a drawn-out legal battle is brewing. Fun. But, my friends, there you have it, tech news for the week, and if you liked it, click that like button, leave me a comment down below. While you're down there, all the articles I talked about today are linked in the video's description. If you're interested in reading more, and you can check out my store at paulshardware.net for high-quality merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, beer sets, and more. Subscribing to my channel is always a good call, too. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you
next week. Here. Never mind. Let's land here.
Booking Computech's lodging in November the year before.
That's smart.
But then I also checked a Airbnb that was also recommended by Steve, where they stayed at least once or twice.
Yeah.
And I ended up booking that.
Nice.
It's a 3-bedroom, so I don't know what Computech's plans are.
That's a good idea.
But if it's nice enough for that sort of purpose, I'll let you know.
Please do. But I'm still scarred over that one time we had an Airbnb and I just got bit up by a million mosquitoes.
I told you where I was landing. If you land somewhere else, that's on you.
I will shoot all the interviews.
And then if you die, that's on you.
In a hotel, if it means I don't get mosquito bit.
It's really funny because we had, I think, 5 people who were staying in that Airbnb, and everyone except me, I think the room we were in maybe didn't have quite as many mosquitoes in it, maybe.
Yeah.
That might have been it. So that's why I was like, it didn't seem that bad to me, but you and Joe are both like,
Getting eaten up.
you will never have me stay there again. Which is why we've gone to Sparkle for quite a few years now.
Yeah, Sparkle itself.
You can't beat the location.
Yeah.
But Sparkle's like it's a floor 0 and floor -1.
Right.
They're like it's below ground level.
Right.
So even the upper rooms that have windows, it's a window onto like a wall.
Yeah.
With like if you look up, you can see the sky and whatever. Joe's
Like a prison.
I upgraded Joe's room for last year.
Yeah.
And so he actually had like this wall with like plants on it and stuff. So it did look nicer. And for him being in the room all the time, it was a better situation. But then he had the chair and the laptop issue that we're gonna hopefully deal with this year.
Yeah, you definitely gotta can't bring all the same gear overseas. That's
yeah. I need to. I want to hopefully pair up with a sponsor, like maybe a Cooler Master or something like that.
That's
who
smart.
can.
I'll craft you. I'll craft you. Holy fuck.
That'd be cool.
That we can just sort of use while we're there and then return.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to worry about shipping something, and we have a much better solution for the hours of editing that Joe dedicates. It's Joe's birthday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nice. Happy birthday, Joe.
Happy birthday, Joe.
Damn. It's cool.
Yeah.
I love Computex actually. I like it more than CES. I gotta say.
I do too.
And that's saying a lot because I love Vegas.
I mean, the statement I always make about that is that I love Taiwan and Computex and going there and visiting.
Yeah.
And just like CES is scheduled at the worst time of year to go to Las Vegas, outside of maybe the depths of summer when it's blistering hot.
Right.
Computex is scheduled at one of the worst times to go to
That
Taiwan.
is the terrible part.
When it's like pre-typhoon season, maybe you're getting some rain, but it's just muggy
Right.
and hot,
Yeah.
and being outside is not comfortable. It's not a good time for tourism, which is why they do a convention and drop you for another time when the weather not be busy. Same reason CES is first week of January,
Yeah, dude.
when nobody would be coming to Las Vegas because everyone's tapped out from New Year's and all the holidays.
I would put extra T-shirts in my backpack because I was just showing up to meetings, just pits and all, just
drenched.
dude, drenched.
I
Like 3 shirts a day, 4 shirts a day.
like the second or third year that we went, I tried to develop this method. I was like, I know I'm gonna be hot, I'm not gonna be sweaty. Pants from like REI that were like looked somewhat. They were like,
You're like, it's 115 degrees
Yeah.
out there, dude. You're gonna make me wear a sweater?
nope, you gotta meet the dress code. I think it was probably. I mean, it was shorts and sandals. I was very casual.
Yeah,
T-shirt, shorts, and sandals, and she tried to reject me.
it's like a Hawaiian shirt or something.
I felt kind of like a goon, but I was like, okay, fine, and I like walked down to the other entrance and went in there. So I still got in, but I was like, all right, I don't want to put anyone in the position
Sure.
where they're having to be like, I'm sorry, you're not meeting the dress code, because they're so polite over there and everything. So
Yeah.
So yeah, as a result, I've tried to figure out like an ensemble that
Right.
looks somewhat professional, but still provides the breathability that the body requires
Definitely,
in that
definitely.
environment.
Yeah, wardrobe is definitely a much stronger consideration when you're in Taiwan than
Yeah.
it is here in Vegas. But the other cool thing about Computex being there in Taiwan is like there are certain creators, like friends of ours, creator friends that only go to Computex because it's just a lot closer for where they live.
Yep.
Like the Hardware Box guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't really come to Las Vegas. They don't come to.
I mean, I don't blame
I
them.
get that it's so far.
24-hour transit time from Australia to
Yeah.
come to Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Is yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah, there's just like you can only find certain creators in certain areas. It's like how like only some Pokemon show up in certain regions. You know?
Yeah, and I totally know that, Kyle. I'm part of the Pokemon
I
generation.
know you are. I know you're hip with the youths.
I'm a young. I mean,
Hello, fellow kids.
Which is funny because even Pokemon references at this point, it's like, oh, are you like a millennial or something like that? No,
You are a millennial though, right?
technically like the cusp.
Oh yeah, you're a cusper. You're on the taint.
Am I allowed to say how old I am?
I think so. As long as it's not under 18.
I'm 43.
Oh, dude,
Isn't that old?
I keep forgetting that you're
Dumb.
43.
I know it's dumb how old I am.
That's unreal.
I try to, of course, maintain a youthful mindset. That's the way that I. No, I'm old. Whatever, it's fine. I was born in 1980, so yeah, I'm a cusper, Gen X millennial,
Yeah,
Xennial, whatever you want to call it.
sure.
Uh,
Millenniax.
I mean, I
We'll come back to that because I got 5 hours to drive on Monday.
Like, if I went on a date with someone and all he really wanted to do was hook up, and then
Right.
from that point forward, all he really wanted to do was hook up, and he didn't really want to, like, be exclusive or serious, that's a fuckboy.
Yeah. What if he discussed it? What if he's like, "Hi, I'm a fuckboy. I'm interested in being a fuckboy."
Yeah?
And would you be like, "Oh no, thank you," or like, "Oh yeah, I could use a little bit of fuckboy for a month, and then I will discard the fuckboy." And fuckboy would be like, "Oh, I fucked a boy. I'm
No, they don't fuck boys. Always. I mean, unless they're
Right.
gay.
Right.
But I'm
That's a
talking
different
about.
thing.
Yeah, that's.
I was speaking from your perspective. Okay, that was a character.
How is this allowed? Someone needs to put a stop to this. It's day 3 at CES and I finally have some time to just walk around and see all the cool stuff. So I started out at the Intel booth where I saw this super cool immersive gaming experience. They also had demo units of the MSI Quad, which is a fully Intel powered handheld gaming device. This booth caught my eye and they're selling these super aesthetic pastel soundbars that you can use as monitor stands to save space on your desk. Govey had this massive booth with RGB wings that you could take photos of. They said LG who? We have Pikachu. I'm honestly not the hugest fan of RGB everywhere, but there's definitely some products that I really want to incorporate into my home office. Amazon debuted these Alexa frames that only you can hear, but it's pretty much Siri but in your glasses. There was a giant shower booth, which I really think they need to bring to events like TwitchCon or PAX. These Duracell charging accessories were super funny to me. Honestly, CS is like the most random convention because why is there like a roller coaster in the middle of the show? Okay, so I ran into the Red Dragon booth and like I've known them for their super cheap keyboards, but they now have a Y60 dupe and all of their keyboards are named after League of Legends champions for some reason. Does Riot know about this?
So step one was the Roadster. The Roadster was high price and low volume, but there was still a lot more to do. So we thought, okay, we're going to make the Model S. About half the market wants a sedan, and about half the market wants an SUV. Then going from the S and the X, we finally come to the final step in the master plan, which is a mass market, affordable car.
It's been nearly 8 years since the Model 3 came out and changed cars forever. But now it's been dethroned by something just better in pretty much every way. Meet the new Model 3.
I mean, can you really call it a god complex if I actually do have the power to fly an entire galaxy in my backpack? Now, how are we supposed to test our equipment if people keep expanding?
Model 3 must have played Codename Project Island. There's a ton of new stuff here, but let me show you my 30 favorite things about the new Model 3. Tesla says this car is 50% all new, and I think where you see that 50% the most is right here in the front. The front fascia is all new, and to my eye, it looks way sportier. It looks even way more refined. It might be just because it's newer. We're used to seeing the old Model 3 face so many times. To see something new looks really good. You'll be able to tell very easily that this is the new Model 3. Aside from that, the headlights are all new here as well. A couple things have been removed. We don't have fog lights anymore, and this is obviously vision only, so no ultrasonic sensors here as well. Around the back is the other spot where I think you'll see the newness, and I'll talk about color and tires and all that stuff here. But now it spells out Tesla. It kind of looks like some of the DIY kits that we've seen for the old Model 3. I don't think you notice a huge difference here on the back. If the letters weren't spelled out, if just the Tesla logo in the middle, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. I imagine that's why they spelled it out, so you can see the difference here. But there are some things if you know where to look. The taillights are different on both sides. Aside from that, nothing drastic. Taking the whole exterior of the car, it looks like a new version of the Model 3 because it is. But what that means is it looks more premium. It looks sportier. The biggest difference, the thing that I like the most, I think what makes it look sporty, these headlights. They're sort of more integrated into the front, and you can compare these headlights to the outgoing Model 3. Look real big. These look like eyes with big baddie eyelashes. And here, I don't know, it's kind of almost smoked out a little bit too. It just looks way, way sleeker to me. So meet Stealth Gray replacing Midnight Silver Metallic. A little bit darker, a little richer, a little shinier, I think. Not a huge difference here. I think the red is where you see the biggest change. Also new, the wheels. So these are the new 18-inch wheels. There's obviously caps that will come off. And much like the front of the car, I think those look way sleeker too when you compare it to the outgoing ones. These look more like aero rims. They're here just for efficiency. The new ones obviously here for efficiency too, but they just, like everything else, just look a little better. So the front and the back is where the biggest differences are noticed. The side of these cars, if you just look at it from the side, and don't look at the wheels, I don't think you'll be able to tell it was the new Highland Model 3 versus the outgoing Model 3. Everything here looks identical. Blacked out trim, camera placement in the B-pillar, everything. One thing that I wish was here, I'm just going to guess, it's probably coming at some point. There were some pictures that Tesla had on the press site initially when they started showing this that showed a front camera down here in the bumper. This does not obviously have it. I would assume that it's going to be coming, but as of right now, at least at launch, it's not here. So while a lot of stuff changed with the new Model 3, what didn't change, at least here in the US, is price, which is pretty awesome. Standard range still starts, at least right now, under 39. Long range still starts under 46. Also rumors of performance version, but I'll talk about that a bit later too. All right, so I'm going to exaggerate a little bit when I said most of the things you're going to notice design-wise are in the front of the car. There's a lot new happening inside. Start with the wheel. More S and X than outgoing 3 and Y. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. If you've seen one of the new S and X's, this should all be pretty familiar. We do have actually a physical honky horn, so you push this in and actually it's a mechanism, which is awesome. The stocks are gone, you control on the screen. You've seen that before. I don't mind the removal of stocks. I think it would be easier if they were here just because I'm used to them. But I will say after the week with the car, it took about 4 days. I did get pretty good muscle memory for where things were located for the turn signals. And I don't mind the stock being gone as long as there's a physical horn here. That seems weird. Those two things go together. It always struck me as weird that the horn is an actual button instead of a horn in emergency to push. I actually don't mind how Tesla did this here. I think it's actually a really good compromise between them trying to sort of push things forward, but also not sacrificing kind of safety features to do it. So one difference though, these are actually clicky buttons instead of just touch sensitive like on the S and the X. So this and the Cybertruck actually share that. I like it. You actually you can know you're actually clicking something instead of just haptics. So in case you're wondering where you actually would change gears if you didn't want to use the screen, it's actually up here. A lot of other smaller changes here. The screen now has thinner bezels. It's at higher refresh rate here too. I don't notice a huge difference, especially since Tesla switched to the Ryzen chips versus the outgoing Model 3 that has the Ryzen in. It's still really fast. A lot of less loading in squares. That was pretty. There was a huge difference, especially since Tesla switched to the Ryzen chips versus the outgoing Model 3 that has the Ryzen in. It's still really fast. A lot of less loading in squares. That was pretty prevalent with the outgoing sort of Intel version, but it's what was fast is fast, and I guess slightly faster. And Adrenos does get a little bit brighter though, which is nice to have. Other small changes in here. This is mostly the same. The wireless charger. This is still the best wireless charger I think in any car. Can't duplicate this. Center console here is new. It opens and closes and that kind of stuff. Nothing overly exciting there. Big deep storage inside of here. Can't even see it, but a 65-watt USB-C port, which is really nice in case you want to power a bunch of stuff. The other big change, this was a really pleasant surprise. So ambient lighting all the way around. You can control it from the setting, and we've seen ambient lighting on other cars before. There's not too much to say here. Tesla's implementation is really clean. I love that you can pick the colors, and it absolutely pops.
Oh, that's not you shooting? All right, they're up there.
That one is from the wood that we saw on the outgoing Model 3 here. So this is the standard range version. You've got kind of this fabric-y material here. It feels really nice to see. And below it is sort of that single blade of air. Another thing that's slightly new here, it's kind of a theme. There are a lot of things slightly new. I actually turn off the passenger air if you want to, so it's going to get real loud here in a second. But if I hold this down, it'll turn off the passenger side, which is something that is new. If the passenger doesn't want air, you've got that option now here as well. I think that wasn't enough things that were new. The seats are all new here too, so perforated everywhere, front and back. But front and passenger are all ventilated now too, which is really nice. And it's not like a weak ventilation. Actually, you can feel it in your bits how well it works. And it's been 2 years since I had my performance Model 3. Well, it's been a minute since I spent a lot of time in a Model 3, but to my back and my butt, these seats are way more comfortable than that Performance 3 that I had was. These are really comfortable seats. Big question that I had was build quality. Probably you guys were wondering that too. So I'm just going to do a typical build quality test. I'll walk around and show you guys, the panels, that kind of stuff, but just you can hear it, or not hear it, I guess. There's no squeaks, no pushes. This is really a well-built car. I think Tesla's been plagued with some build quality issues, and by their own admission in the past, maybe this is just the car that they gave me. This car is really well built. Another giant change that I don't think Tesla's going to talk about too much, but you'll absolutely notice there's all new acoustic glass happening in here. It is
That hurt bad.
so much
They're under me.
quieter to drive. This feels more like Mercedes, just from a noise cancellation standpoint, than Tesla has ever felt before. When I had my Performance 3, I always heard outside noise, big excited, bigger tires on it. But this is really quiet. So let me try to show you the difference. All right, so I'm in the outgoing Model 3 right now. I just want to show the noise cancellation. So Robert outside is playing a non-copywritten song as loud as possible, and that's full volume out there. So I'm going to roll up the window. You can hear what it sounds like in the Model 3 first. Going up. Quiet. Quiet.
I did not see that guy coming.
Alright. I'm not sure what that sounds like. So the same situation now in the new Model 3. Also, horn in the background. Got the music playing. I'm going to roll up the window. But I hope that's translating. But pretty good. If you can't hear music blaring 2 inches outside, you are not going to hear much road at all. This is a giant difference and a giant improvement for Tesla. So Tesla said that all the seats were redesigned. The back seats feel about the same. They're always pretty comfortable. In case you're just wondering what legroom is, I'm sitting behind my own seating position. I'm not that tall, at like 5'10". One change, this is as a parent, that I wish Tesla would make in their cars, I hope they're listening. Stop recessing the seatbelts. When you have to put in a booster seat to click into it, they often extend over and they're so hard to find. Make them all like this, like the middle seat, where it comes out. Just as a parent, I really appreciate that. I would have liked to have seen that here. But something that's giant new, and this is straight out of the S and the X, we now have a rear screen in the Model 3, and this really helps make it seem like a much more premium car. You have cars that cost 2 or 3, sometimes even 4 times the price that don't have this option, and it looks really good. It's got the thinner bezels like the new S and the X have. The holiday update came, so you can connect Bluetooth audio to it, so you don't have to listen to what your kids listening to. But all the stuff you'd expect from a Tesla screen is here. You can watch movies, even play games, and control the fans from here as well. 2 USB-Cs. So the drive is still very clearly, unmistakably in a Tesla. But it does feel smoother. There's upgraded suspension. It feels more like you're gliding over the road than you are actually feeling the pavement. I know that's a good way to describe it. It just feels smoother. Speaking of DIY job, it's like Tesla saw those kits and we're like, oh, let's just do that Model Y has. All right, so I'll show you performance here. It's not a fast car, but it's not slow either. It's got plenty of zip. I mean, I'm able to pass a Y performance. He didn't know I was racing it. Sorry. It's still a plenty fast car. Driving is where you're going to see that new sort of.
Where are you taking
class,
me?
Where they've done acoustically to make it quieter. It is really quiet here. You don't hear kind of the
That doesn't make any
whirs
sense.
that you hear with some electric cars or Tesla generally. As it kind of goes as you accelerate, you just don't hear that. You don't hear a lot of wind noise. You don't hear a lot of anything here except for your own hopes and dreams in your head. I know when I had my Model 3, and people have talked about it a lot, there are some issues with phone as key not always pairing and connecting. Tesla is trying to correct it, so the new Model 3 has improved Bluetooth and also ultra wideband. In my week, at least they had a very small sample size. The phone key worked flawlessly though. For a sub $40,000 car, I think this is a screaming value. This has not only been fun to drive, it's been really cool to sort of see the new technology make its way to the Model 3. I do think kind of the big monkeys in the room, so to speak, is first, whenever the refreshed Model Y ultimately comes, that it's just the Y version of this, but also, inevitably, I'm assuming, the performance version of the Model 3. I think you're going to see huge differentiation. Because already it feels quick, it already feels fast, and you add in, I don't know if they're going to flat it up, ludicrous it up, or just underline dual motor, it's going to be fast. And I just love to drive in my performance Model 3. I imagine it's going to be a better version of that. I've been thinking about this for the whole week, how I would describe it and how I kind of end the video. But I think everything about this car is just more refined. Tesla's not a new automaker anymore. Model Y is the best-selling car in the world, and this seems like an answer for a car company who knows what they're doing. From the drive to the looks to the technology, everything about this seems really refined. I was shocked at things that made its way into a $38,000 car. The screen in the back, they didn't put that in. I don't think anybody would have complained, but it's here. The acoustic glass on the $38,000 car, who wouldn't have complained about the old version, but it's a lot of refinements and value for the dollar. It's certainly missing some stuff that I would like it to have, but those are compromises I think a lot of people are going to be very, very, very willing to make. And if they do, they're going to get an absolutely awesome car that I think pretty much everybody is going to love.
Alright, you have $1,300 to spend on an Android slap phone in 2024. Why would you get any other phone? No, seriously. Why would you get any other phone? This S24 Ultra has taken the best things from every other ultra high-end phone and stuffed them into one place. So anything that you could possibly value, it has pushed to the max. And there's just multiple cherries on top, just sprinkled all over the place. This phone sets the tone for 2020. So the formula for Samsung's Ultra phones has evolved a little bit over the years. At first it was just the most numbers, the biggest megapixel count, the most zoom and all that. Then it added the S Pen and got a little more refined, then it replaced the Note. Now it's just everything. It's just everything in one place. It's all the best hardware, all the best software I can think of, all in one phone. So on the outside, like I said in my early impressions, this phone looks almost the same as last year's phone. But if you think this phone is almost the same as last year's phone, turns out you're missing a lot. So the more you use this phone, the more you look for weaknesses, the more impressive it gets. So maybe what? You're a screen snob, right? You like to pixel peep. Maybe you were thinking about getting one of the ultra high-end Oppo or Xiaomi phones just for an amazing screen. Alright, well, look no further. Literally one of the best screens in any phone. S24 Ultra has dropped in a class-leading 6.8-inch Quad HD AMOLED display, and it is awesome. These also 20 Hz CPO for a while, and they've HD ROM too. On top of that, one is just completely flat, and so a whole new batch of like 2,500 plus nit phones in the past couple months that I've seen. This, I think, is the best looking one that I've seen so far. So now it's up to a max 2,600 nits, which is awesome outdoors or anywhere. But it also gets extremely dim at night too, without any of the weird banding I've seen in some other phones. And they've flattened the display completely and brought the display right up to the very corners with some of the thinnest bezels we've seen all the way around.
We're not going to make it, but we're going out that way.
On this Gorilla Glass armor that makes a noticeable difference with certain light hitting it at all kinds of angles. And then there is a crazy fast ultrasonic fingerprint reader underneath to top it all off. And you know, maybe I wish the touch target was a little bit bigger, but
Ooh, we got ones already there ahead of us, above us. What the fuck? Alright, we getting down.
Okay, so what if your primary concern is battery? Well, you could always get the Energizer phone that we saw at CES at one time, but as far as reasonably sized flagship smartphones go, it doesn't get much better than this. Again, they're keeping a 5.5
Gotta get it to get down. Gotta get it to get down.
Making it thinner and keeping the S Pen. So you might as well get this one. Still got 45 watt wired charging. You still have 25 watt wireless charging, and just battery life wise, I was able to have long days with no problems with 6 hours plus screen on time. I was able to baby it into getting 2 full days. That's at 1440p, at 120 Hz, and with high brightness use. So, yeah, why get anything else? So, okay, what if then it's just performance is the main thing that you care about? Okay, so we're seeing all these phones with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 starting to come out, and they're looking really good. Great high-end performance, good efficiency gains all over the place. Plus, this phone pairs with 12 gigs of RAM, and it is a multitasking champ. And if it's a stylus you're into, I already know you aren't really considering any other phone. The S Pen is basically the only high-end stylus still going in slab smartphones. It's really good for note-taking, drawing, highlighting, all that stuff. But if you're like me and you hardly ever use that, there's still the gaming performance and the everyday performance. There's the newly added ray tracing, plus a 90% larger vapor chamber to cool the phone for much longer stuff. Turns out it's an A+. Now you could always get a gaming phone and squeeze 5 to 10% more frames out of a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 with some huge badass cooling setup, and that's great. But then you also have to accept all of the sacrifices that come with, say, a gaming phone over this. And do you really want those extra frames that bad? Depends on who you ask. Okay, cameras. There's a lot of other phones out there that you could buy if your $1,300 specifically has to go to the best cameras. You know, the Pixel just won the blind camera test. Sony has the best manual mode. Like, there's other great cameras. But here's a way to simplify it. I think in evaluating smartphone cameras, there's basically 2 ways
Where are you guys
to review
headed?
them. There's the utility, the actual technical evaluation, and the aesthetics, the art of it, the subjectivity part. And I think utility-wise, like on paper, specs-wise, this camera's got it all. Like you've seen this camera array before. There's 4 cameras on the back of this phone. Turns out they're basically the same cameras as last year's S23 Ultra, except for one. So there's a primary camera, an ultra-wide, and a pair of 2 different telephoto cameras. The primary camera is still a ridiculous 200 megapixel sensor with all the same pros and cons. It's consistent and versatile across the board. It has great dynamic range. It's a quick shooter with quick autofocus, and it's also always been down to 12 megapixels, and you should almost never switch it to the 200 megapixel mode unless you have incredible lighting. It has an ultra-wide with a bit of distortion near the edges, but it's actually meaningfully wider than the primary.
Move me. Oh my god, you're the worst. What the fuck? Why would you drive into the thing? Oh my god.
From this to this, pro tip. And then it has a medium range 3x telephoto camera that kicks in smoothly and matches the colors and exposure from the main camera really well. And so the one new thing in hardware this year
What the
is they've
fuck
gone
was
from
that?
a 10 megapixel 10x camera to a 50 megapixel 5x camera. So technically shorter optical zoom range, but I would say with the extra resolution, it is actually more powerful. It means all the photos in the gap between 5x and 10x look sharper than last year. And then you can literally put the 10x photos side by side from the S23 Ultra and the S24 Ultra, and the new 5x cropped in actually looks better. Plus you can still zoom all the way in and shoot at 100x if you still want to take ultra stable pictures of faraway objects like the moon. Basically what I'm saying is, utility-wise, this camera system checks every single box. It has everything. So from there, you get into the more subjective aesthetic differences, which you could always lean one way or the other. I mean, looking at these photos, they're still very much Samsung's slightly extra process looking, a little bit extra contrasty, a little bit higher exposure, a little brighter colors. That still happens with these photos, so you could still convince yourself to lean Pixel or even iPhone, but if you just want to be able to check every single box, why look anywhere else? Honestly, the changes that you notice more, aside from the actual camera quality, are just like features using it. Like the S24 Ultra shoots everything HDR by default now. It's actually in Google's new Ultra HDR format, so when you have, specular highlights or big dynamic range differences in a photo, it will tastefully crank up that stuff for a more dramatic looking picture on the phone screen, similar to what Pixel and iPhone already do. And this passes through all the way from capturing the photo to viewing it in the gallery, and then one more step to actually publishing it on social media. So Samsung has worked with Instagram and Snapchat for native quality photo and video uploading pipelines. Because at the end of the day, once you take the photo, what are you 99% of the time planning to do with it? Share it. And I think this is important for a lot of people. This is one of the reasons I have carried an iPhone for years. Is one of the things you can always count on is the photos and videos in third-party apps are going to look just as good as if they were captured in the main camera. And you can actually say that that is true now about photos and videos from this phone, at least in Instagram and Snapchat. All right, maybe you're a software person. Maybe the top of your list when buying a new smartphone is you want the smartest smartphone. It's got to have all the software and AI features, and honestly, it should have a nice long roadmap ahead of it of on-time software updates. Sounds like I'm describing a Pixel, but turns out this phone now has a ton of helpful AI features built in that are actually good. They make a meaningful difference to everyday use. Now, the funny part about a lot of this is a lot of these features were made in partnership with Google, as you'll see. And I can't help but keep thinking, like, it feels like Samsung needs Google to have all of these features on their phone to compete, especially against Apple. But then Google has their phones are but it's probably worth the trade-off because now technically they're helping to compete against the iPhone. This weird thing where they need each other. I think it's fascinating and probably worth its own separate video. Maybe let me know in the comment or by subscribing if you'd be down to see that. But that's all the background to all of this. So we were just talking about photos a second ago. The second you're done taking a photo and opening it up in Samsung's Gallery app, there's a ton of useful AI-driven stuff that you can do with it. And it's kind of all based on what sort of scene it auto-detects that you've taken. So lots of photos just end up with a remaster button where you click it and then it can add some contrast and brighten things up a little bit as needed and give you a solid before and after. But if your photo has some glass or a window, it'll show you an erase reflections button. And then you can literally go in and circle the reflections you want to get rid of, and it'll generative fill what should actually be in the glass. And it works pretty well. Now with this photo, I didn't take it in portrait mode, but it's recognized that there's a subject, and so it'll offer to add background blur. And even without a background blur, that's the subject, and it lets me add a little bit or a lot of background blur with pretty damn good cutout, if you ask me, to just create a portrait mode shot. But if you ever really want to go crazy, there's a whole separate magic editor that feels exactly like what we just got with the Pixel, minus any restrictions. It's never told me it can't do something. So you open any photo, hit that edit button, and then there's this little blue-green button with the stars. That's Samsung's new magic editor. And once you're here, you can just go nuts. You can move the subject around the photo and have it generative fill in the background, or you can have it remove things entirely from the foreground or the background of the photo, like photo bomber. But probably actually my favorite one, underrated. You know how normally when you need to tilt a photo, like fix the horizon, you end up cropping in and moving the outside of the photo? You can still do that, but with this magic editor, you can open it up and tilt the horizon to whatever angle you want, and instead of cropping, it will literally generative fill in the outsides of the photo, which works very well because usually the outside of the photo is the least important part of the photo. You can get away with it. And by the way, literally all this stuff works with photos you download to your camera too. Not just photos you've taken on the camera, but photos you just get wherever, just like the Pixel. Now, I also find it hilarious that if you use the magic editor to alter a photo on this phone, it'll add a little watermark to the bottom corner with this little stars so that you know that this photo was AI manipulated. Which is good. That's a good, responsible thing to do, especially if you're going to upload this to social media. But then you can also immediately erase that watermark with a built-in object removal tool in Samsung's photo editor app. There's a nice little section in the settings where Samsung's tucked all of the AI features of this phone. It's called Advanced Intelligence instead of Artificial Intelligence. Still AI though. That's where you get stuff like the live phone call translation feature, or the new voice recorder app getting much improved speaker labels and summaries and transcriptions. The Samsung browser will now do summaries of web pages. This might all sound very familiar, but the best new one, in my opinion, is Circle to Search. Now, Google Lens has been around for a long time. In my opinion, one of Google's most underrated products. So people might have already known that you could basically do this already, but it would take several steps. Circle to Search just makes it one step. It's much faster. It's pretty awesome. You literally just hold down on the home button or the gesture bar at the bottom, and then circle or tap whatever on your screen that you want to Google search. And it just immediately Googles over the top of whatever you were doing without leaving that app, and it's so useful. Just even during the week I've been using this phone, I've searched pictures, parts of pictures before. It almost always works, just like uploading it to Google Lens. I've searched objects right in front of me through the camera viewfinder. I've searched random landmarks. You can also search text, and you can even append text to your search. And I was just constantly impressed by how fast it is. And it basically works as expected every single time. The one fidgety part is sometimes selecting text gets a little weird. Using the S Pen can solve that a little bit to just get a more precise selection, but yeah, once you do it, it's much faster than if you're going to use Google One, screenshot and upload it to Google, and you have to crop it and the whole thing. This is just fast. Now, real OGs will know that there used to be a feature on Pixels called Now on Tap. It was like the same exact thing. Hold the home button and it would just Google whatever was on your screen and help you out. But that was everything on your screen. And they kind of ended up wrapping that into Google Assistant. This is just so much faster and more selective. Also, Pixels are going to get this feature very soon as well. But then bonus points, if you really love software, Samsung is now promising 7 years of security updates and 7 generations of major software updates on this phone, on this S24 lineup. I assume 7 generations of software updates is basically 7 years. That means this phone will be up to date in 2031. Loving that. So we know the common wisdom was that if you wanted 4, 5, 6 plus years of software updates, or if you want every single little software and AI feature, you basically had to go iPhone or Pixel. But now that this phone also has that, why get anything else? But speaking of the iPhone, they're going at them too. Now, I know I said in the beginning of this video, $1,300 slab Android phone, so I know the iPhone 15 Pro Max was never really on the table. But if we're being honest, Samsung has never been shy about competing directly against the iPhone. So why not take some of the best stuff from there too. They weren't being subtle about it. So they've got this shiny, brand new titanium color with titanium rails on the S24 Ultra, just like the iPhone. They have flattened the screen and the sides and made boxier corners all the way through the lineup, just like the iPhone. They have moved to a max 5x telephoto lens like I talked about earlier, also just like the iPhone. They also have this new always-on display that doesn't just show the time, but shows your whole wallpaper now, kind of like it's half awake, just like the iPhone. Thankfully, you can also turn that off and save some battery, just like the iPhone. You can also now long press to select an object in a
Oh my
photo
God, it uses
that automatically cuts it out
electricity,
and makes
just
it
like
a
the
sticker you can
iPhone.
use in other apps, just like the iPhone. And there's even these new lock screen widgets now that look exactly like the iPhones, like copy my homework, but don't even worry if they know you copied it. These two are gonna keep copying each other till the end of time. None of this is a surprise. It's just at the end of the day, we are technically winning because they're making each other a little bit better bit by bit. But at the end of the day, S24 Ultra, I really do feel like it feels like peak slab phone. There's also a whole bunch of stuff I didn't even really mention with this phone. The haptics are really nice. I didn't even get to that. There's AI generated wallpapers, a whole section for them if you're into that. And it's nice that the AI stuff is mostly kind of tucked away in ways where you don't ever have to use it if you don't want to, but if you notice it and it's helpful to you, bam, turn it on. Could be your favorite feature. Really the only things that I miss from the Pixel specifically
for the people that are younger.
Call screening and now playing. So really the best argument not to buy this $1,300 phone is the fact that it's a $1,300 phone. And the truth is you can get 98% of the phone for much less money. You can see it in Samsung's own lineup. Samsung's own S24 Plus has a 4,900 milliamp hour battery instead of the 5,000. It has a 6.7 inch display instead of 6.8. And it drops the S Pen and one of the telephoto cameras for $300 off. And you can get a regular S24 again for much less money with almost as much phone. So you don't have to spend $1,300 on a phone. But if you are going to, and you put the word Ultra, as much stuff in your phone as you possibly can, this is the one that you should get. This has all the things. It's reliable. It's fast. It does everything. It checks all the boxes.
Hold on tight. It's time to
It sounds
drop,
great.
shock, and rock.
Kind of feels like an ad when I just say all these positive things about the phone, but it's not. Until right now. This video is sponsored by Ridge. The Ridge wallet is iconic at this point. It's a minimalist, modern wallet. It's like the opposite of those old school wallets. It's got the patented dual track design that expands to hold 1 to 12 cards while being as slim as possible. And at this point, there's like 30 plus different colors and styles, including carbon fiber, burnt titanium, and forged ember. This one is the forged ember, so it's like this little red flecks and it's so cool. You can also get accessories for it, so if you want to carry cash, you might want the money clip, or this one has a cash strap, or if you want the AirTag holder, you can get one that holds an AirTag to it, so you never lose your wallet. And on top of all that, if you get one and you don't like it, you can return it within 99 days, no questions asked. So if you want to grab one, you can get 10% off using code MKBHD, or go to ridge.com/MKBHD. Tell them I sent you. Either way, that's been it for the S24 Ultra. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
What is up, peeps? Welcome back to the channel. Over the past week has been one of the biggest debates of CDL or Call of Duty pros versus Warzone pros, all sparked by a bunch of random guys on a podcast that received, well, albeit viral, but also a lot of viral hate from pro players in this space. I thought you guys would maybe want to know what the Call of Duty pros had to say in response to this on the latest Optic podcast. Before that, though, in case you guys don't remember the viral take, or at least one of the takes that these two had that set off all of these pro players, here it is.
Do you think Biffle could do pretty well in the CDL?
Of course he could. A lot of CDL players always think they can. I constantly see that argument. CDL players are always like maybe Biffle could compete, but he wouldn't even be close to a top player in the league. And it's like, they think he doesn't have the skill set. I'm sorry, I'll never agree with them, and I'll never fully understand their reasoning, but I think being the best Warzone player in the world is way more skillful than being the best CDL player in the world. Maybe that's a hot take for CDL players, but they act like there's so much strategy. You sit there and hold an angle and wait for some guy to run around the corner. How do you think Biffle would not be able to do that? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
You literally sit there and hold an angle.
Yes.
It's not that hard. So much more thought goes into playing Warzone. so much more strategy over the length of the match.
And shortly in response to that, I mean, we also had a video on this channel, a couple of different videos. I even gave my full react, a 20-minute react video of all of the points they made and my thoughts on them. There was a lot of dumb things said, but at the same time, there was a lot of maybe some vein of truth things said by two guys giving their casual opinions about something that pro players are probably going to have more specific opinions on and probably more knowledge on, you know? And that includes me. Like, my takes aren't always the best. You guys know that, but here we are still digesting information. So here's what the Call of Duty pros had to say about that. First and foremost, comparing the Warzone pro player lobbies versus CDL lobbies. Like, when you go into the Call of Duty League, it's all Call of Duty pros. That is not always the case for every single Warzone tournament. For Call of Duty League, it's the top 50 of the best. For Warzone, there's a bit more variability, especially when it's like a kill race tournament. You guys know exactly what that means.
Can't believe the Warzone versus CDL thing's still real.
Dude, I'm tired.
What's wrong with these guys?
No, that's a fake ride. That's a fake fucking ride.
They think they can kill
I don't
Hydra?
think they do. I don't think they actually think that.
Like I said, my only issue with the whole thing is I don't know how deep the CD or the Warzone people take the game. Like, I don't know how deep they think.
These guys are fucking brain.
What I heard from them was like what I
play.
would hear from someone with a Twitter with no profile pic. They just made the account. And they're like shit talking.
Nate said
Like
it
just
best
like
right here.
spewing nonsense, just to like. I don't. It's just like you have to remind yourself. Wow, people like this do exist. Like there are people out there with this brain that think like this and believe that.
I can't believe this isn't how does it work. If they don't believe it, well, I think those guys actually believe what they said, but essentially they were just a podcast. They were just like playing in Warzone is harder than playing in the CDL, and I'm just like, dude, can you imagine play? Go spawn in.
Then why wouldn't the Warzone players switch over?
See, the thing about Warzone is that all the teams in their lobbies are not good. There's some teams that are like heavy stacked, and then there's some teams that like you see on the map and you're like, run at them.
And more importantly, we have someone like Method saying that he thinks every single CDL pro could go pro in Warzone if they wanted to. The same could not be said for every single Warzone pro going pro in Call of Duty League. And that is something, outside looking in, that I agree with. I think a lot of people agree with that.
Like
In
yesterday
CDL,
when we
you're
were
not getting-
fucking...
There's like bad teams in the CDL, but they're not like that bad.
they're playing tournaments and...
There's no freebies.
I mean, never mind. I don't want to shit
The reality is,
Warzone
'cause
thing.
listen, I don't want to like Warzone players are still very skilled, but like when you're talking
They are.
about CDL, the difference is any single CDL pro right now can go pro in Warzone, whereas the opposite is not the same. Not every Warzone pro. There are a few outliers in Warzone that if they dedicated time, they have the talent that they could go pro. But it's
still
not,
no guarantee.
it's not impossible. No,
My
correct.
only argument yesterday was the fact that Scump won their tournament, and I know it was easy for them.
Yeah, people always use that.
And then they also talk about all of the current Warzone pros, some of the best in the world, or some of the top earners in the world. Well, a fair handful or two of them are actually former Call of Duty players or pro players, just proving that if they all switched at once, all of the actual top players, they would very much be some of the best. I think Scump, though, really pinpoints what I was trying to, express. These are two different games. You have a Battle Royale and you have a shooter. Those are two very different games. Yes, some of the mechanics overlap, but at the end of the day, they are at the very least two very different game modes which require a different skill set to some degree. So what's the point of comparing these at all?
Well, here's the other argument that someone
Are we
tweeted,
taking
and I
the
was like,
zip
holy
line
fuck,
or
we're
what?
talking about this. They're like, Tommy's the #1 earner.
Yeah,
He was a
former
CDL.
CDL.
That's all I needed to hear.
Rated was
I was like, I
running-
didn't even know that. Never mind.
Rated was running
Over
shit.
it. There's no divorce.
It's basically, and to be honest, I actually don't think any Warzone player thinks this way. I think it's all like Warzone fans. I don't think like any players like disrespecting CDL at all.
Yeah, I've
Everyone's
never
like,
seen a player
oh,
like...
do a show match. It's not possible, man. I mean,
The Warzone pros,
CDL
no,
players-
bro. It's just like idiot Warzone. The Warzone pros.
Some of them are not that. Some of them are trying to lose him. Like, I respect it, but...
They're also different.
Broken over
They're
here.
not even comparable. Like, one is a BR and one's an arena fucking shooter. They're not comparable. It's Call of Duty Tuesday, but they're not comparable. They're completely different assets.
Nate did set, this puts it in perspective. Say you land Lowtown on Urzikstan, take the size of that drop zone and now cut that whole area in half. He just spawned in there for 10 minutes against 4 players as good or better than Biffle and try to get in a kill for 250 seconds before they do. No smokes, no third parties, you just squaring up against 4 of the best players in the world. Would you rather do that on stage for 1 million, or would you rather run for 20 minutes on a map the size of Narnia, avoiding gunfights, and praying to God you get circled full on final zone? Honest and sincere question. He fucking can't do that. So you
I
just
think those guys would have responded to it.
That was good.
The Warzone pros are better, or whatever. They would switch to CDL.
That's not true because they probably make more money playing Warzone and being able to stream because the CDL it's a very big time commitment. Unless you're like a top CDL player and getting like an actual like a good like top salary in the CDL, like it wouldn't even make sense for them because CDL pros you can't stream for 7 hours of the day. Warzone players you can stream anytime you want. Like
in the grand scheme of things, Warzone players probably winning, but I mean I don't know how much
Warzone pros
like
are
as
making.
far as like being able to play their game and make money all day and make a career out of it. Like I mean, sure, like the CDL pros are getting a salary, but like big Warzone streamers compared to like
they're making
you know you get what I'm saying?
More.
Yeah.
They're probably making more just because not being able to stream and not being able to produce any content throughout the day, and you're only worried about scrimming. Like, it doesn't even make sense for Warzone players to do it. At least the top.
But hey, at the end of this, can we just not sit back and realize that it was 2 random dudes just on a podcast talking about a topic that they believe in, whether dumb or not, however you see it, they got some good traction, and everyone else got some great impressions and content out of this, and we re-sparked the debate that has been had over the past 2 years. Like, it's kind of a win-win, man. I got no hard feelings. I actually really enjoyed reading everyone's opinions because everyone is so goddamn different, dude. Like, there are some people out there that don't even watch Call of Duty League, and they're like, here's how I feel, and vice versa. And we're just all sharing opinions and hopefully hoping that someone else out there agrees with us. That's all we're doing at the end of the day. So, till next time, take care. I gotta watch this cup eventually, more importantly, but take care of yourselves, all right? We'll see you back here soon. Bye. There's been a whole lot of discussion around Twitch, guys, as of late, where Dan Clancy, the CEO over there, has now made his not just physical statement, but a vocal statement on stream, responding to unfortunate news that Twitch has had another round of layoffs, this time around being 500 plus employees. We covered this last week, or just over 35% of the remaining workers at the company, something that rightfully so had a lot of people concerned about the future of, was this going to be the home for streamers as we go forward. Now, Dan taking to stream, I think, is a great step for transparency, as he kind of wanted to stress, hey, we have an exceptional business. We have a great business like some of the other tech giants out there, but this business, it needs to cut expenses, and it has to be ran, to be honest, more frugally, which, again, I love him being upfront, but it does still spell a bit of concern for a lot of people.
We need to run this company based upon where we're at. We've implied this before, when we say we need to run it sustainably. But I'll be blunt. We aren't profitable at this point. Amazon has been extremely supportive of Twitch, and a big thing for being sustainable over time is ensuring that we don't lose money. And that's a big part of my job, because that's going to be what makes sure we can be here for long term. We've been very clear about the importance of our efforts to try and continue to provide more resources to streamers. We've already seen today some other announcements come out, again, not just about Amazon.
Okay, Google.
Tech companies.
How do you spell misogyny? M-Y-S-O-G.
Misogyny is
I-O-N-Y.
M-I-S-O-G-Y-N-Y.
M-I-S-O-G-Y-N-Y. Well, I put the Y in place.
So I think in general, there's this evolution in the tech industry where I think, and I've built much of my career in the tech industry, so I've seen this, where companies are being a little more careful about the size of the organization.
No more.
And a little more thoughtful.
Anybody got
in terms
mics?
of how big they need to be.
Nope. Yep.
So, but we are in very good shape. I'm
Okay, Google.
and in fact,
How do you spell misogyny?
Misogyny is spelled M-I-S-O-G-Y-N-Y.
Bro, chill out.
You chill out. All dudes.
I'm not a guy.
Cutting through.
You're a guy. Look at your character. All of you chose men.
I'm gonna flash.
Go, 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 go.
Or no.
Country.
Plant, 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 plant. No. W set up.
Oh my god, Gen Alpha. Jesus Christ.
Gen Alpha sucks.
W Riz. On God. No cap. For real, for real.
I am so glad I'm
Bro.
not Gen Alpha.
For you.
Thank you.
One enemy remaining.
No,
Oh my god, you guys got done? Oh, look at me. Still alive.
Reloading.
No kills.
Even with numbers, anything can still happen. Remember that.
And the white bands.
Reloading. The spike is here.
Let's go A again.
I'll cut through.
Good trip, good trip. Come on, y'all, come on.
Uh-oh, it hit me.
Healing.
Anyone else? Reloading. Our carrier's dead.
Oh my god.
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Goodbye.
Well, that was
Can't
fast.
use this yet.
That's what she said.
Come on.
You're not. Please don't make me mute you.
Well, you're laughing, aren't you?
Yeah, because I'm uncomfortable.
Well, you can't set me up like that and expect it not to come out.
True, true.
It's okay, it's just comedy.
We go.
It's not real
Guys, we're a
life.
team.
We're in a virtual world. The internet.
I
Welcome
can
to
flash.
Cutting through. Blinding.
Bucky is OP.
Our spike is down.
Ow.
Spike down A.
I have retrieved the spike.
Are you guys rotating?
Go.
I have the spike.
One enemy remaining.
Nice, Sage.
He's a Vandal.
Yeah, he had a Vandal, Sage. Go pick it.
He's trying to chase you now. Let's just
Hey,
make the
Gubbins,
plant and play the
What is that?
retake.
What is that melee?
Oh, Sova's hit 60.
What's a melee? What are
30
you
My
seconds
talking
melee
left.
is prosperity and demise.
Wall raised.
I have a computer called Humanity's
I wanted just the big
Demise.
sword, but I can't swap between that or the little one, so.
So is it like 2 or is it 1?
It's
I don't
two.
know
Separate.
why.
He's long coming from
no
the other
offense,
side.
I don't know why people like the skins that have like green screen effect. The only knife I have,
Is that what you call it?
the
A
only
green
knife I'll
screen
ever
effect?
buy.
Last player standing.
A green
I
screen
bought
effect?
one knife.
Bro,
Yeah,
chroma
I bought
key?
one knife. I'm never buying it again.
They should give up now. Save us the effort.
This one
That-
was.
you
so
probably
good.
shouldn't buy anything with real money, honestly.
I mean, at least it was limited edition, so.
Buy
not
your
bad.
shit in the real world. You're too young to spend money like that frivolously.
The animation is fire.
You can pick up other people's guns on the ground.
Can I flash before you guys move up?
Okay.
Okay, Lily.
They're all there. All 4 of them. No, all 5 of them.
For you.
Oh my god.
Spike down A.
Is it really
Oh
all
my
5
God.
of them?
Yeah, they closed the door on me right before I was trying to go through.
Try to rotate
Hey,
out
maybe
if you
we
can.
don't go A again.
Watch your right, watch your right. Oh.
Were they all down on the ground?
Just go ahead and plant, go ahead and plant. Okay.
Enemy spotted mid. I have planted the spike.
I shouldn't have stayed.
The
I hit her for 80, but she
disappointment in
healed
your
Reyna.
voice.
Deploy destroyed. Here.
Last player
Oh my
standing.
god, I suck. 96 Jet.
Nice.
One enemy remaining.
He can't
Nice.
mid. Yep. Wow,
Nice.
look at you.
2 copies are nothing.
He's better.
All right.
Your web is deadly, Cypher.
Maybe I should be using Phantom.
Phantom doesn't do as much damage, but it has better.
Better spray and more bullet.
Ooh. She'll teach you about the game.
And it's the only gun that goes good with my bronze gun buddy.
They're all gonna be.
And that's what's really important.
I don't think any of them went A.
Fire in the hole!
Run!
Nowhere to run.
Oh my god, double kill. Look, they ran into each. What are they doing?
Alright, bye bye. Ciao, tree.
Who needs a heal?
One enemy remaining.
Herbert's
Come
better.
here. Where is everyone hiding?
What the heck? Do they only use shotguns?
Yoru, you have.
Oh, you got the spike over there? What are you doing? Somebody got to get this kill. Let's go. Move.
30
Sprint.
seconds left.
Oh, there we go.
They're using shotguns because their eco is bad right now.
Continue to fight. Continue to win.
Bro, I am not replenishing my shield. I lost 1 shield and it wants me to buy it again for 1,000.
The spike is here.
Still gonna do it because it looks horrible at 49.
I got 8,000 sitting on with everything. What the fuck?
Let me flash before we go.
She loves to flash for some reason. She's a flasher.
Quiet. Don't get it.
Make the entrance, shut the door, push the door down. I'll make the wall on the backside. Oh wow, those are my eyes.
Come
Thanks. I love it. She just said, boom, I'm fucking you up.
I'll watch flank.
Don't talk about my flash that way.
Flank, go flank, go flank.
My
Oh, okay.
I was coming to heal, but fuck it, I put a wall up.
Here.
Sage, is there any way I can get your Phantom?
No. Ah, maybe after this round.
Camera taken out.
You got this.
It's over. We won.
Last player standing.
Just wrap.
One enemy
Message
remaining.
sent. My ultimate is ready.
Clutch.
May Phantom went with the round. Sorry, sir.
If they try something.
Can someone get this? Thank you.
Tanku, this is my favorite fan.
Can someone spot me? Shukriya. Thank you.
All right.
Let's go mid to B.
Okay. Decoy. Here.
You fought well.
Sage heal. Oh my god, she's on my
Where at? Where at?
mid. That's mid.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
Dead.
I hit her for 42. Rotate.
W.
L for them.
You clean up whatever's left.
I use real words when I talk to human beings.
The spike is here.
What?
Let me guess. You're not actually in this rank. Because it's your friend's account.
Me?
That's why smurfing is bad.
Let me guess. You
I'm
are
not
neither,
smurfing.
seeing
Whoa,
as you only
whoa,
have
whoa,
one
whoa,
kill.
whoa. You could. I've been on
This
this
is my
account.
account, and
This
it's
is
only
my.
my
This is
second
my main account. This is my main account. I'm
Just right
not
here.
smurfing. I promise you that. You have the wrong idea if you think that's what's happening. Especially because I'm not even the leader. Talk to Mr. Nether up there. I do not die though.
Get out of my way.
But we're just destroying these kids. That's not because I'm good. It's because they're bad.
Up top.
Spike down A.
They're right there. I gave them a kill. 117 raise.
Careful.
You're getting flanked.
Shield going up.
There's only one up
Wire
top in
destroyed.
heaven. There's two coming from the flank.
Planted.
Check the flank. They're coming through that
Cage
door.
triggered.
We got them.
Here.
Let's turn the tide. Time to jump.
One enemy remaining.
Reload.
Oh, almost just threw.
Reload.
Never show weakness. Ever.
I have money if you need.
The inspect music is
I'm
fire.
clipping that Smurf call out.
Also,
though.
just an FYI, it's not all about kills. It's also about teamwork and how you can set your team up for success. People also
Alright.
need to learn that.
Yeah, and it's also
I'm
about
dancing to
not
the inspect.
dying. If you don't die, you pretty much can't lose. You can technically, yeah, if you don't defuse the spike or if you get the spike planted. Theoretically, not dying, having 5 people still alive, you're very unlikely to lose.
Two there, two there. Be careful, don't peek. They got an outlaw. Mid.
Your duty is not over.
Get your ass back in the match.
Spike's down.
140.
Enemy remaining. Spike down.
Oh, I got goobered in the face. We're not going in there, are we? Oh yeah, we got it.
Just came on.
Barrier here.
Push it. Yeah!
My ultimate's
Together
ready.
and overwhelmed.
Oh, look
Literally,
at
you're
that.
dead to your mom.
What?
I made our team successful. I got
yeah.
0 hype in the crowd though.
No.
Oh, I muted them, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
She muted me? What the heck? That's mean.
She has anger issues.
I just was trying to have fun. Sorry for trying to have fun playing video games.
Time to jump.
She's just a little bit
I
angry.
can ult us in if you want.
She always wants to flash on the way in. Let her do her
Her
thing.
singing voice must be terrible.
She's mad at me for being good. Not even good.
Healing you.
They're flash.
Reloading.
My kills get stolen too, so I mean, I'm trying. One's tree.
Here.
Flashing, flashing. What? 117 on
Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna get fucked over here. Oh my.
Last player standing.
Nice try.
Don't stop fighting. You must keep going, even if you're.
Maybe I shouldn't be using fan.
All right. Going C.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my
Don't
way.
look at what I'm doing, Sage.
I'm on my way.
Try not to die.
That's
I'll
not
flash this
funny.
Cutting through. Flash out. Reloading.
The hunt begins.
See, my kills keep getting stolen.
Sorry, back off.
Wow. I don't like that.
Worthless.
He's
Spike
back.
down A.
Silva flanking
One
you.
enemy remaining.
I hit him for 80.
Got the spike.
Flame.
Spike planted.
Last player standing.
He's there.
Flame!
Good job.
I'm literally like,
Last
I think
round
6
before
of
the
my kills
switch.
have been stolen.
We lose our
I'm
mind. I need a
dying.
drop. Sorry. I need a drop.
That's why she has 10 assists.
I
I
need a
thought
drop.
she was the one who was talking about setting her team up for success.
I'll buy you operator.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm not allowed to request
As long
anymore.
as we
Someone
get
drop me a
a
gun,
win.
please. Please, somebody drop me a gun. I can't request anymore. Thank you, Harb.
Got you.
Blinding.
I'll handle this.
I'll mark.
Enemy spotted here.
Reyna's behind box. Reyna's behind box.
Decoy. Let's turn the tide. Dead. My ult's ready.
I got one mid. Sova.
Plant the spike.
She's up on boxes.
Spike planted.
Right by the door.
Oh my god, I got flashed. What the fuck? Who was that?
Fine.
One enemy remaining.
Tree.
Oh,
Heaven.
the door's closed,
Here.
so it should be okay.
On top, on top.
Heaven. Wow, look at that spray. Oh my god.
Switching sides.
Move in after I strike. That's when I need a drop.
I'll go B.
Lily. Why did Lily mute me?
Say what more of me? Fine.
You know their name?
Yeah, Lily Peachy.
Cutting through.
Oh, are you doing? They're here.
Enemy spotted A. On my way.
There's someone here too.
Nova is.
Flanking it.
There's some A. Ray's hit for 54. I'm sorry, B tunnel. Ray's is hit for 54.
We have Spike there.
Down A.
I know. I was just letting you know where.
Sit on it. Sit on it. I'll look.
I'll sit right here.
Where were they last at?
Ray's was B tunnel.
They're either flank or coming through tree. But we don't
Flank?
know if they're tree, so they have to be flank.
Here.
Heaven.
Here.
Just put all your focus on flank.
One enemy remaining.
Coming. Nice.
Just give me a
Nice.
moment.
Match point.
Usher
I
them
did
towards
that.
their eternal rest.
Give Vandal. Give Vandal.
It's the
Yeah,
last
we're gonna-
round. It's the
win
last
this.
round. We ain't playing another round after this.
Yes, sir. I'm watching here.
We could. Do you want to? Should I
Oh, they're
throw?
all B.
You want a knife?
One of them will have my judge.
Guess who has Vandal? Me.
Spike planted.
Be at peace.
Oh my god. Reyna has a monkey. Wait, Sage, right? Reyna's right here.
Last player standing.
What?
Here, up.
No.
What?
She
are
was
we
hit for
watching?
52.
No
Fuck
bullets.
me. I guess we jinxed
Prepare
ourselves.
yourselves. We fight once again.
Damn it, me, her. I said you jinxed us. You ruined it. You're a fun ruiner like the muter. Oh my god, I just got pressed before I could do anything.
Spike planted.
Enemy spotted B. Flash out.
34 Rays.
Oh my god, why is she always there?
Why is everyone using shotguns?
I'm actually done with this game. What?
You gotta look.
I didn't think she'd be there twice.
Do this.
Always assume somebody's there, no matter what.
Rah!
Just sit in back of B. Sit on site in back of B. Someone.
Alright.
Because they're just gonna rush it.
Alright.
I will hold up the sky.
Watching you. They only go B because that's what works.
Wall raised.
Oh my god, I saw this. Raise one.
How'd I get shot? Where the fuck did I get shot?
My camera is destroyed.
Last player standing.
They're in there.
Pull out your butt. Don't flash, now they know where you are. Pull out your bucket.
Spike planted.
Yeah, pull out my bookie. He's slow firing.
Good turn.
Time to take these arms for a spin.
Yeah, don't push. Let them come to us.
If they go A, we need someone else A.
I'm right here.
Sage, wall that off and sit
I don't have a
back.
wall.
Then just sit back, don't push it. Please.
Fall back. Quiet. Careful.
So I don't.
Nowhere to run.
Spike planted.
Okay, at this point, let's just 5-stack B.
Last player standing.
Can't 5-stack. I'll stay on A then.
Okay.
We're not getting the message. Leave it to me. I'll rough them up.
I'll throw my TP so I can easy rotate to A. So it's basically 2 and 3.
Just sit back of A. Don't peek it.
Yeah. It's literally 2 people A, 3 people B, or 4 people B.
Just go 4B.
Yeah, 4 B, 2 A.
Like, I'm sitting in the back, like, yeah. Just wait for them. Come B, yo.
I had the TP so I didn't die.
They're out B main. I can't do anything. 1-on-1 Raze.
Last player standing.
There ain't no way we lose it.
No, it was 12-1. Come on.
Spike planted.
Just one round, please.
Guys, come on.
Pick something nice.
How about this round? Nobody buys anything. Just complete save. We might as well just give them a free round, and then we have infinite eco next round. Nobody buy anything, except for Sage, because she has extra creds.
Breach, just come B.
Try not to get shot, okay?
Cypher. I'm gonna sit in back of B.
All right.
The hunt begins.
Found you.
Fire in the hole.
You're flank.
What?
Wait for them.
Can I get a res? Enemy removed.
Where you at?
Reloading.
We just need to win this round, and we win the game.
Where is everyone hiding?
Watch it.
Switch.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, just one more guy.
Spike
Come on.
down B.
Push it. Herbert.
Going out.
I have 6 bullets left.
I have 20.
30 seconds left.
Monster on the loose.
Oh, now I'm fucked.
No, walk
Player
Sage.
standing.
Oh, my. You lose this, it's already small. What are you doing?
I love it, dude.
Can you like not yell, please?
What do you want me to do?
What is wrong with you?
We are fighters.
I'm Odining.
I'm soft fragger, okay.
This is hilarious.
Fragging has nothing to do with it. Jesus Christ, y'all play the game for the wrong reasons.
Oh my god.
Says the one who's 8 and 16.
She's angry.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I'm playing the game because it's fun. I don't care about top frag.
Why are you playing competitive? Play unrated or something.
Exactly.
Play
I can
this.
do what I want.
It's free
Why?
country.
You just said what?
The free country.
It's actually tripping.
Come on, be careful. Careful.
Come on, guys. Reach. Oh, yeah, spray that thing.
No charge.
Reload.
Spike down. B.
Wait, 128. Heal. Resmi said.
Just wait, just wait.
I have Jet there.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
She's stuck in garage.
Yay!
Okay.
Finally.
Defenders win.
I have to have a horrible day, Bree.
Oh, you guys are mean. Oh my god. So mean. She accused me of smurfing and I ended up down there. Come on now. That ain't true.
I think this move puts us in a position where we are well positioned going forward. I will tell you very clearly that as we continue to grow, I'm going to be very careful as we grow the size of the organization. Ultimately, the size of the organization, comes from the work that you do, and we need to make sure, not just with the size of the organization, but with every dollar we spend, that it is driving value to you, because I'd rather put the money in your pockets than spend it myself.
And amidst all this, saying cutting expenses, I would have to assume that means the 2 other layoffs we saw in 2023. Crazy to say that's just last year, but it still kind of feels like this year. Almost 3 layoffs in a single year for Twitch, and this last one being a sizable portion of the company. But amidst that too, we talk about something that's also obvious, and some people thinking Twitch not being profitable was obvious. Well, now we know it for sure. I think it's just more of a confirmation of the likely thoughts crossing people's minds. And when the CEO of Twitch openly admits it, you got to respect it, but you also got to wonder, hey, this has been, a company for quite some time. Eventually, you got to turn a profit. He also alludes to the fact that, yes, Amazon says eventually Twitch has to turn a profit. And they're also, another very obvious thing, straying away from big streamer contracts. We've known that. It's been very obvious. But again, just like the latter, it's now confirmed.
Mother of Carp, how much of this layoff decision was Amazon's choice and how much was Twitch's choice? So the way to think of this is Amazon does expect us to move towards profitability. However, how we do that is very much in our control. But when you look at our business, we had already been looking across the business for different areas where we could save money. I do not think, as we drive to profitability, that I think it's critical, the money that goes to the streamers, that we can continue to provide those benefits that we are doing right now. As you know, we just recently launched the Partner Plus program, and I've said repeatedly that we would like to expand those things. And one of our biggest cost outside of that is our employee base. And so that's one of the areas that we looked at, because we had already been looking at many other places to look where we could save money. And The Architect, hey, The Architect, good to see you. Where will TwitchCon be? You're gonna have to wait to find out. We will be announcing that shortly. Lim 3 Slush, is Twitch going to be branching off of Amazon? I saw that are also doing layoffs. Will that affect partnership at all? No, we aren't going to be branching off of Amazon. They're doing layoffs again, and I know many of you don't, understand this because you don't necessarily live in the tech space. I was at Google from 2005 to 2014. I will tell you that the tech space, I think, has this idea that because an organization is bigger, that will necessarily drive growth to the service. And sometimes that's true, but sometimes that's not true. Bigger isn't always better. In fact, leaner sometimes is better. And I think we need to run a lean operation. And again, this isn't unique to Twitch. I think Twitch and Amazon, I think Amazon is starting to realize how they can more efficiently and effectively run the company. Their business is very strong. Much like Google's business is very strong. Google did a layoff today. They have a really strong business. Much like Amazon, much like Facebook, much like Apple, much like many of these companies, Uber. But they're saying we need to run the company differently. It's not that they aren't good businesses. They're actually exceptionally good businesses. And the same is true for Twitch. I think we're a solid business. We're just deciding that we need to run it a little more frugally.
And so all of this, just to share with all of you guys, the kind of transparency and the great explanation from Dan Clancy, and by great, I mean expansive, on all the different points he wanted to touch on throughout this stream, which, by the way, he touched on a lot of other things, a lot of niche details that I'm just not going to share with you. You guys can go watch his VOD about this if you're very interested, because there are some very good answers in there. Beyond that, though, we take a quick look at his physical statement, this being an email issued to his employees, and also share with the community. Again, that transparency is great. I think during a time of struggle for Twitch, I've said this on Twitter already, or X, whatever the frick you call it, I don't think Emmett Shear would have held up near as well as Dan Clancy is for being a public voice during the turmoil that was going to be ever present eventually at Twitch. But all of that crap is hitting the fan right now with Dan, and I think he's just about as good as a guy you probably could have at the forefront during a difficult situation. But he reassures people, he apologizes for the situation, he shows his care that he has for his employees, and says, even then, reiterates, this business is a good business, but we got too many people, we got too much expense, and we gotta cut it down. Like, our expectations of where Twitch should be and where it is currently, they didn't align, and so we got to make adjustments, just like he said in previous statements. Other tech giants do all the time. They do layoffs. Now, leading into one last reply I want to share with all of you, Carl Jacobs got involved in this, and so too did tons of creators. I think Co-Carnage and Gathalion had some great thoughts on this. We'll probably touch on in future videos, but people maybe referencing like YouTube and how long YouTube took to turn profit, which I don't think is the best comparison. For me, I believe after looking it up, it took only a handful of years for YouTube to turn a profit in a market that is now dominated by YouTube, and they have showcased their long-term profitability and dominance in the space, whereas Twitch has been around for a lot longer and still has yet to get over that hump. So I actually saw the opposite with this statement. I actually had more of a concern, you know? But at the end of the day, I will still say this. We stream on Kick every single week, but if you are a new streamer or you want to be the biggest streamer, the audience still is on Twitch. Even though with YouTube numbers, YouTube live numbers are still gigantic as well compared to the other two, but I still think Twitch is the place to go for the best streamers on earth. I think that's probably a fair statement. Maybe that changes in the future, especially with this news and what comes next for Twitch, but it's still the place to be. And there's so much else that Twitch has to figure out. Profitability being clearly one of them, now confirmed by their CEO. So what do you guys think? Is it possible to make money in the live streaming industry? Even in that statement saying they gave away $1 billion to creators and streamers, which is awesome, and that's with them keeping 50-50 for a lot of these. It's wild. Is it possible to host all these streamers without them having to pay at some extent? Like, is it possible? That's what I'm asking you guys. We got to figure this out together, and I don't know. Fun discussions though. Till next time, take care of yourselves. What are y'all thinking? We'll see you back here sometime soon.
The JBD Win Mini might be the most powerful netbook we've ever used. It may be built with gamers in mind, but this handheld has a lot more than a clamshell design working. We'll go over why the Win Mini is the perfect gaming netbook, how well it performs in gaming, and why it's worth the wait to get one at the right price. First glance, the Win Mini looks exactly like a netbook from the late 2000s. You know what I'm talking about. Those like $200 mini little laptops that took only the worst storage imaginable, really sucked, were incredibly slow, but got rebranded into Chromebooks at some point and run a little bit better on Chromebooks. Anyways, the only physical difference between this and those devices are the gamepad inside and the triggers and bumpers on the outside. It all comes in a matte black finish, the only available color. The finish seems to have some form of fingerprint resistant coating on the outside, though you'll still see smudges. GPD must not have applied the coating inside the shell, as the gamepad can get considerably shiny from hand grease. There may be an issue with the shininess on the ABS plastic in the future, but we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. The Win Mini looks even more unique once you screw in the controller grips. These grips are an optional add-on to the Win Mini, but we highly suggest getting them if you plan on doing any handheld game. Holding the system without the grips feels okay, if just a little uncomfortable from the corners digging into the palms. But with the grips on, we were pleasantly surprised by the ergonomics. The deep wells underneath the triggers make a natural spot to rest your fingers. It also helps to place your hands in the right spot to reach the gamepad buttons and the mouse pad. The gamepad comes with Hall effects, so you shouldn't have to worry about stick drift, but the triggers are analog, so they should still be good in FPS and racing. The buttons are on the smaller side, but that's expected with the compact size of the Win Mini. They're not mushy and feel nice to click, but I do wish that they were a bit bigger like the rest of the system. But
like, if I went on a date with someone and all he really wanted to do was hook up, and then from that point forward...
No, we did that one. Oh, I'm sorry, he's a fuck boy. Cool.